Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Wild Breakaway with Wes Walz. I'm Audra Martin. Well, so far, 2020 off to a good start for the Minnesota Wild, kicking things off the second half of the season with a big overtime win against the visiting Winnipeg Jets. Eric Staal, the game winner there in overtime in what was a bit of a crazy game here. Wild second period with some interesting penalties and then a really dominant third period. So nice to see them cap it off in the final frame.
Yeah, weird game. A lot of power play, penalty kills, and then at the end of the game for drama, is it a goal? Is it not a goal? It felt like a coin flip situation. That flip goes toward the Minnesota Wild, and Eric Staal is able to score the first overtime goal so far for the Minnesota Wild. I thought the Wild were by far the better team here tonight, 5-on-5. Gave up a couple power play goals, but I've said this many, many times before in this league. 95% of the time you get what you deserve, and the Minnesota Wild deserved 2 points tonight, and they got 2 points because they stuck with it. They stayed in the fight. It looked like Connor Hellebuyck was going to steal this game. The Wild outshot them 44-21. Really had no business being in the game, but he did not steal the game here tonight, and the Minnesota Wild got a huge 2 points.
Yeah, and so it is their first win of the season against the Winnipeg Jets. Here's a look at your final stats, as you just mentioned, Wes. Plus 23 shot differential, by far their best mark of the season, and a season-high 44 shots on net. 2 power play goals for the Jets. They're both goals here this evening in the Wild. Get a power play goal when it mattered most. It was the overtime game-winning goal from Eric Staal that we all had to wait a few minutes to find out if, in fact, it would be the game winner.
I wasn't convinced of anything because I've been there too many times, but I went back and watched it, but I'm going 49-51, 51-49. I didn't know. That was one of those that you didn't know which way it was going to go. Probably we would have had both coaches mad depending on which way they had called it. So I'm just glad it went in our favor.
So the Wild wrap up this 4-game homestand tomorrow as they take on the Calgary Flames, the same team they will face again on Thursday. However, that game will be on the road north of the border. So this is a team the Wild faced just 2 weeks ago and won that game, shutout fashion, a 3-0 win against the Calgary Flames. And so hopefully they will take the confidence from that win and the momentum from this one here to walk away with 2 points to close out the homestand.
Yeah, these 2 games, this one against Winnipeg the Wild got, and this game against Calgary, really, really important. The Flames, the Jets, and the Wild are all kind of bunched here together, and even the game in Calgary on Thursday is going to be a very, very important game. The Wild were the better team, no question about it tonight, 5-on-5. They looked like a team that had 3 or 4 days off, very well rested. They skated the Jets pretty much into the ice and got a much-needed win. This Calgary Flame team is a bit of a weird team. They just filled the net with goals last year. I think finished second in the National Hockey League in scoring goals. Now all of a sudden they can't figure out how to score. They're 24th in the National Hockey League. A team that's been really hit and miss and has really, so far this year, had a really difficult time getting off to good starts in games, so maybe the Wild can jump them tomorrow night.
All right, we'll see if the Wild can get it done and end this homestand back in the win column yet again. We hope that you will join us for Wild Live tomorrow night. Until then, for Wes Walz and Audra Martin, thanks for joining us on Wild Breakaway.